I never planned to step inside that house. The mansion stood at the edge of town, surrounded by twisted iron gates and overgrown trees. Locals called it the House of Shadows. They said no one lasted a night inside. That was enough to keep me away, until curiosity won. It started with a letter. The envelope was slipped under my apartment door. No return address. Inside, a single sheet of yellowed paper. Come to the house. Midnight. One night only. We are waiting. I should have burned it. Instead, I found myself walking the dirt road leading to the gates. The house rose against the night sky, windows dark, roof crooked like a spine. The gate swung open with a moan, though I hadn't touched it. Inside, the air was colder. The path crunched with gravel. Statues lined the walkway, human shapes twisted, faces eroded, hands stretched upward as if begging. The door waited, tall and black. When I touched the handle, it turned on its own. The house swallowed me whole. The interior smelled of dust and old wood. My flashlight beam shook across cracked wallpaper and portraits with eyes that followed. The floor groaned under my weight. Somewhere deeper, something echoed. A shuffle, like feet dragging. I called out, "Hello?" Silence. Then a whisper close to my ear, though no one was there. "Welcome home." I stepped into the main hall. A grand staircase climbed upward, its rail twisted with carved figures, faces stretched, mouths open in silent screams. The chandelier above swayed, though no wind stirred. My light caught a mirror at the landing. My reflection stood there, but it didn't move with me. I raised my arm. The reflection stayed still. Then, slowly, it smiled. My stomach turned. I stumbled back. The reflection tilted its head and whispered, though no sound reached me. I fled deeper into the house. Every corridor felt longer than it should. Doors lined the walls, some cracked open. I peeked inside one, a parlor. Chairs draped with cloth, piano keys pressed down by invisible hands. A low melody played, broken, stumbling, as if fingers made of shadow fumbled across ivory. Another room, library shelves rotting, books spilling their guts of black dust. Shadows stretched between shelves, taller than me, shifting when I blinked. I hurried past, heart pounding. At last, I reached the dining hall. The table stretched impossibly long, covered with plates of rotten food. Moths crawled across gray bread. A goblet tipped, spilling dark liquid that dripped without end, vanishing before it touched the floor. At the far end, someone sat. A man, in a suit. His face was hidden by shadow, though candles burned around him. He raised his hand in greeting. "Welcome," he said. His voice echoed as if spoken by many mouths. I couldn't reply. "You came to stay," he continued. "The house remembers you." My throat tightened. "I don't belong here." The man's head tilted. "Then why are you here?" The candles went out. Darkness fell heavy. I swung my flashlight wildly. The chair at the far end was empty, but shadows rippled across the walls, moving independently of my beam. They crawled upward, stretching into tall human forms. Dozens of them, faceless, featureless, yet unmistakably watching me. One shadow detached itself from the wall. It stepped onto the floor, three-dimensional now, body made of smoke and ink. It mimicked my posture exactly. When I raised my hand, it raised its own, but with a delay, half a second behind. The others followed. Dozens of shadow doubles stepped into the hall, every one a fractured echo of me. And then, they began to move on their own. The first one smiled, stretching a mouth where none had been. Another reached out a hand too long, fingers bending like broken branches. They closed in. I ran. The corridor shifted, stretching longer, ceiling lowering. My breath came ragged. Doors slammed as I passed, shadows seeping from beneath them. At last, I burst into another hall. Portraits lined the walls here, every one painted with my face. Different ages, different moods, but all me. Some of them blinked. Some smiled. One portrait lifted its painted hand and pressed against the canvas from inside the canvas. The wood bulged outward. I ran again. The stairs creaked as I climbed. My flashlight caught glimpses of movement ahead, shadows sliding just out of sight. At the top, another mirror waited. This time, no reflection. Only a dark room stretching endlessly, filled with figures standing still. As I stared, one figure stepped forward. It was me, but its eyes were hollow, mouth a black pit. It raised its hand and pressed against the glass. Cracks spread outward like spiderwebs. I backed away. The mirror shattered. Shards scattered across the floor. In each fragment, my reflection moved differently. Some smiling, some crying, some screaming silently. One shard crawled closer, scraping across the wood. I bolted. Every corridor led deeper, every door opening to another nightmare. A nursery filled with rocking chairs that creaked without touch. Toys moved on their own, shadows playing games with unseen children. A study where books whispered when opened, pages turning themselves, words shifting until they spelled my name. A chapel lit by candles burning black flame, pews filled with shadow figures praying in silence. The house was alive, and it wanted me. At last I found a door unlike the others, iron, locked with chains. Something inside pounded. "Help me," a voice cried. I hesitated. The voice was mine. I pulled at chains. They snapped too easily, like paper. The door swung open. Inside lay a small cell, and in it, myself. He looked starved, skin pale, eyes sunken. He crawled forward, clutching bars that no longer existed. "They trapped me here," he whispered. "Don't let them take you too." I stepped back. "You're not real," he smiled weakly. "Neither are you." Hands burst from the floor, shadow hands, dozens, gripping my legs, pulling me down. I screamed, kicked, but they tightened. My double laughed as the shadows swallowed me. I fell. Through floors, through darkness, into the basement. Water dripped steadily. Chains rattled. The basement stretched endless, pillars vanishing into black. Shapes hung from ceilings, swaying. Shadow bodies, lifeless, yet watching. One by one they opened eyes. All mine. They whispered in unison, "You live here now." I stumbled through muck, desperate. My flashlight died. Only faint glow from cracks in walls guided me. At last, stairs. I ran upward, hard-hattering. The door at the top burst open, and I stood outside. Morning light bathed the overgrown garden. Birds sang. The house loomed behind me, silent. I laughed, shaking, relief flooding. I made it out. But when I reached into my pocket, I found another letter. The same yellowed paper. "Come to the house. Midnight. One night only. We are waiting." I sit in my apartment now, writing this. Sunlight pours through window. Life is normal, but every shadow in the room twitches. They lag behind my movements. Some smile when I don't, and I know it's only a matter of time before the shadows stop following altogether and start leading.